What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode of Outside the Arena with Mac and Griff. I'm Griffin Senek, joined by my co-host Mac Rommel, and today we've got another fantastic episode of Outside the Arena coming your way, and we're even going to start it off with something fun. So before we get into that, Mac, you ready to go? Anything you want to say before we start?
I'm ready. I'm ready to jump right into this. Something new for me, so it's going to be exciting to jump right into this.
Well, Max said it himself. It is something new for him. We're going to be doing some MLB free agent predictions, something we haven't done quite yet. But before, the offseason really kicks into high gear, I thought it'd be a fun thing to really, predict some free agent outcomes here. So that's what we're going to start with today. And Mac, you ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's jump right into it.
All right. So I'm going to start with you, Mac. And the first player who we're predicting for 10 of the top free agents are going to be landing. And we're going to be starting off with longtime New York Yankees starter Masahiro Tanaka. He is a free agent this year. Mac, where do you have him going?
I have him sticking right where he is. He is going to be staying with the New York Yankees. He's been a solid mid-rotation starter for them, and he's averaged 30 starts per year from 2016 to 2019. And in 2020, he was pretty healthy aside from one mild concussion. He has great control, but he has been prone to the long ball in his career. But the Yankees are going to get him back. Great player for them.
I'm going to disagree. I don't think he's going back to the Yankees. It seems like their focus right now is on DJ LeMahieu, and they're going to not. From what I've heard from a bunch of sources, I really don't see Masahiro Tanaka rejoining the Yankees. The problem is it's very hard to picture Masahiro Tanaka somewhere else. So I'm going to go with a bit of a weird team here, and I'm going to go with the Miami Marlins, a team that is coming off a playoff stint. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling here. They want to make a move. The rotation is solid. They got a lot of young guys there, but they don't really have that veteran pitcher yet. So I feel like this could be an underrated move. One that, is not likely necessarily to happen, but it's definitely one that I think is not fully out of the realm here. And I feel like Miami could make a move and really land Tanaka, and I can just see that working out as a fit. So I'm going to go with Masahiro Tanaka going to the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
The next player we are going to predict is going to be Michael Brantley, left fielder, currently just finished with the Houston Astros. Obviously spent a lot of time in Cleveland with the Indians. Mac, where do you got him going?
I have him going to the Braves. This 34-year-old, he's been pretty good, especially the past two seasons where he was 8th in batting average with 309, and he had the 4th best strikeout rate with 11.4. He's a very productive contact hitter who could handle his position at left field. So I'm going to the Braves.
I have him staying in Houston. They've got a lot of free agents on their plate this year. A lot of outfielders. Josh Reddick is a free agent as well, I believe. So I feel like they got to keep one of these guys. They obviously have George Springer, who's an impending free agent that I don't believe, spoiler alert, will be returning to Houston. So I'm going to say they keep Brantley. He played pretty well there. Like Max said, the stats show he's been an all-star multiple times, all-star in 2019. So I have him sticking with Houston. I could see him landing, 2-3-year deal, probably a 3-year deal, just because that's probably what the market's going to end up giving him, maybe somewhere in the $30 million range. Definitely a good keep for Houston. I think they'll make a move there that will signify that they're still looking to contend, and they want to keep one of their best bats in Michael Brantley.
Mm-hmm.
Next name we're going to go to is Marcell Ozuna. Coming off a really good year, kind of a career year for him almost. He needed a big year. He did not want to sign a long-term deal for cheap money. Signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Braves for, I believe, like $16 million. Paid off. He was, I believe, 4th in MVP voting in the National League. Mac, where do you got this superstar headed?
I have him headed over to the Nationals. This left fielder, he may even be better suited as a designated hitter. Last year, he topped the National League with 18 home runs and 56 RBIs. He was in the 96th percentile of exit velocity and 97th percentile of a hard hit rate. His defense is not great. That's why he's better suited as a designated hitter, and that's all because of a shoulder injury, that hindered his arm strength there in left field.
I like that prediction. I'm going to go with a bit of a weird team. I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants here. I feel like the Giants want to make a big move. We've heard they want to contend. They've obviously got Mike Yastrzemski. He had a great year. He's going to be playing right field. But for me, at least, that left field spot, it really isn't, full right now. My phone's falling. Sorry about that. It's just, to me, I think they want to make a move. And Marcell Ozuna, I think they're going to be willing to take the risk of him in outfield. I definitely agree with Mac in that he's a lot better suited to play in the American League. But I feel like the San Francisco Giants are a team right now that want to make a big move, and they're going to sign this guy to a 4-year, 5-year deal for a lot of money, and they're going to not regret it at all. So I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants here. Bit of an odd one. The next guy we're going to be going with is going to be Marcus Semien, the shortstop, coming off a bit of a down year for the Oakland Athletics. Where do you think he's going to be headed, Mac?
I think he's headed to the Blue Jays. He is finally a free agent after being the A shortstop for 6 seasons. In 2019, he sort of broke out. He had 33 home runs and was third in MVP voting that season. I'm messing up my words there, but he did not repeat that in this year in 2020, as you said, Griffin. And I think a 1-year deal for him could be best, so he could try to aim and return to that 2019 form.
I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Reds here. I feel like he's kind of a perfect fit for the Reds. The Reds obviously have the pitching right now. The lineup was a bit lackluster this year. They made some moves. They signed Nick Castellanos and Mike Moustakas in the offseason. Those guys didn't quite pan out as expected. So I think they know they need to still shore up that lineup a little bit. There's a hole, and Marcus Semien fits a perfect hole for them at shortstop. They really, really don't have a guy who is, the top dog there. I believe Freddie Galvis is currently a free agent. He was doing his thing there for a bit, but not anymore. So I see Marcus Semien going to the Reds. I think this is their big move of the offseason. I guess that's another spoiler that they won't be retaining Bauer, but I feel like no one really expects them to retain Trevor Bauer. So I'm going to go with Marcus Semien and the Reds here in a pretty strong move for the Cincinnati Reds, one that will make them one of the top offensive juggernauts in the National League.
Can't disagree with that.
You disagree with Semien or the Bauer?
Semien.
What do you? Oh, okay. I don't know. The Blue Jays, I don't know if they're going to, I feel like it's Lindor or bust for them at shortstop. They've got Lourdes Gurriel. They've got Bo Bichette. Lourdes wasn't left, but Bo Bichette, I think they're strong on. I think they'd rather just stay than make that kind of move. I think they'd rather go for like a George Springer in the outfield, but we will see. Next guy on the list is Brad Hand. The Cleveland Indians waived him at the beginning of the season. No one took him for $10 million. Kind of shows you the market for the MLB that they're dealing with right now. One of the top relievers in baseball can't even get $10 million. I know relief pitching is a slower market, but still wild there. But who do you got Brad Hand going to, excuse me?
Yeah, hopefully I don't mess up my words on this one like I have on almost every single other player we've talked about so far. But I'm going to the Astros. He had a great 2020 season, a 2.05 ERA, and also had 320 innings of a 2.70 ERA ball since 2016, which was 10th in the MLB, and he's made 3 All-Star games in that time. He's a great player, and the Astros are going to be getting a star.
I'm going to say he comes to my New York Mets. We need a left-handed reliever right now. We waived our only one in Chasen Shreve. So it's kind of a perfect fit. We are really messing up our words today. Goodness gracious. Justin Wilson's a free agent, and while he was good, he isn't Brad Hand. And I think Brad Hand is kind of just the missing piece. They've already gone out. They've upgraded. They've got Trevor May. They made some interesting moves. They got Sam McWilliams. They did just sign Jerry Blevins, but he's on a minor league deal, and he's also coming off a year where he didn't really play. So yeah, can't count on Jerry too much here, but I think Brad Hand to the Mets on a 2-3-year deal is really a perfect fit, and I really do see this one happening. So I'm going to go Brad Hand to my New York Mets here. Next one I think is the best reliever on the market, and we are talking about the former A, potentially, Liam Hendriks, 32 years old, I believe, the Australian-born native himself. Mac, where do you see the superstar reliever headed?
I have him going to the Angels as they are in need of late inning relief at the pitching position. We all know he went unclaimed on waivers, and then he made the All-Star team, and this is all in the span of 1 year, and is right now the best reliever on the free agency market. He had a 1.79 ERA since 2019, and led all MLB relievers in WAR over that period of time, and also has a great 96.4 mile per hour fastball.
I like the stats you're bringing in. You came prepared to go, and I love it. I'm going to disagree with you, though, here. I'm going to say that the San Francisco Giants pick up another top 10 free agent, and they're going to sign Liam Hendriks. They need bullpen help. Their bullpen is definitely a weak spot of that team. I don't have the stats, unfortunately, pulled up on me like Mac does about the Giants bullpen, but it wasn't very good. And I think we're going to see the Giants really aggressive here. They're going to get their two guys in Ozuna and Hendricks. They're going to put them in a good position to win. So I'm going to say Liam Hendriks. He's already been tied there. He pitched in Oakland, so he's familiar with the area. So I think he's going to stay in the area, but he's going to go to the other side. He's going to go to San Francisco. Now we are going to go to our top four free agents in the class right now. And we're going to start with a catcher, JT Realmuto, whose market just got a bit more interesting today. The Mets are agreed to terms with catcher James McCann, 4 years, $40-ish million range. Personally, I'm very happy with the signing. I'll just touch on it briefly. I think it's going to allow the Mets flexibility in the payroll to go out and get other guys like Brad Hand, like I just mentioned, and someone else I have them landing as well that is in the top four. I think the Mets are due to make a big push, and I think the money for Realmuto just wasn't he came out and said $200 million, and that's way too much for me. So I'm going to pass on Realmuto, and I'd rather see another guy and James McCann come than just Realmuto and some other low-level guys. So I'm happy that JT is not necessarily in that, even though he's probably potentially going to stay in the division. But Mac, where do you have him going?
Yeah, so he probably my pick probably would have been in the Mets if anything didn't happen. But right now I do have him going to the Phillies. They seem to be one of the best catchers since the 2018 season. The 30-year-old is the fastest running catcher in baseball, and he's very good at controlling the run game. And he's first since 2018 with a 41.3 caught stealing rate. Absolutely great catcher. So the Phillies are going to be getting a great player.
I'm going to agree with you here. I truly do believe JT Realmuto is going to remain a Philly. We've heard owner John Middleton say that is the priority. There's been some conflicting reports about the money this team has lost, but they hire Dave Dombrowski, a guy who is notoriously known for making a win now push. So to me, not bringing back Realmuto would just seem like the opposite of that. So I definitely expect them to bring back Realmuto. I think his market has definitely been hurt by the Mets not getting him. I think that top dog in the bidding that he was expecting to have is gone now. He's not going to get the money that he wants, and the market's probably not going to be as good for him as he hoped. So tough break for JT there, but I do have him going back to the Phillies. I think that is the most logistical fit and one that I expect to happen. Next on the list, George Springer, another Astros outfielder on the list who's a free agent. George, I mean, he's a superstar. He really is. They had the whole cheating scandal. Had a relatively slow start to the season, but then picked it up towards the second half of the year. So, Mac, where do you have the star center fielder headed?
Yeah, this excellent hitter and star center fielder, you're going to be happy about this one, is going to your New York Mets. The 31-year-old has played both right and center field in his career, and normally ranks above average defensively. He's a middle-of-the-order hitter who can play a premium defensive position, which is great. So the Mets will be getting a great player right there.
I agree with you once again, and I feel like we're agreeing on a lot of these top four guys. I think Springer's a great fit for the New York Mets. I mean, really the DH is going to decide the Mets factors for the season because they need that DH spot to put a Dom Smith / Pete Alonso kind of alternate between the two there. Oh my goodness, I'm really bad on the words right now.
Both of us.
Then they can put Veranda Nimmo in left field where he needs to belong. He's not a good defensive center fielder. I believe he actually ranked last out of all the starters for just basic defensive stats in center field. I mean, I might have pulled that one out, but I've heard, I mean, he's terrible. I'll tell you that. From watching the New York Mets, he is not a good center fielder, and he's a corner outfielder for all his career, so you can't really blame the guy. Springer's a good fit. He adds a righty bat to the line. Mets need a lot of righty bats. They got a lot of lefties with Jeff McNeil, Michael Conforto, Dom Smith in there. They need, and Brandon Nimmo, obviously. They need a good right-handed power bat besides the polar bear himself. So I think Springer's a great fit. He'll go into center. He'll improve the defense. Top of the order kind of guy that the New York Mets really need. They've got some leadoff guys like Jeff McNeil, but I think Springer's really could be the perfect leadoff guy. Great defense up the middle, which we need. And James McCann, George Springer up the middle. Defense just got a lot better for the New York Mets. So I agree with you, George Springer will be a New York Met. Last two players now, and we're going to go with DJ LeMahieu next. He really had a really fantastic run with the Yankees. I believe he's on a 2-year, $26 million deal or something like that. He's signed around that range. And wow, it paid off. I mean, compared to the Mets' 2-year, $20 million deal with Jed Lowry, where he had 7 at-bats, DJ LeMahieu was out here getting votes for the MVP, top 3 finish in the MVP, winning batting titles, doing his thing. So, Mac, where do you think he's going to end up? We've heard he wants a 5-year deal. The Yankees won't budge. Is that going to stop him from coming back to the Bronx? What are you thinking?
I have to give him and keep him as a Yankees fan. I got to predict him to go back to the Yankees. He has 3 gold gloves on his resume, and in 2019, 4th in the MVP voting with 26 home runs. This guy, he does not strike out. He barely strikes out, and his power has gotten better since he's been with the Yankees, but he has had the 3rd worst home run distance in the distance average in the MLB. So he's greatly improved since he's been with the Yankees, and if he does stay and choose to remain with the Yankees, I think he's only going to get better.
I'm once again agreeing with you here. I truly believe that the relationship between the Yankees and LeMahieu is a very strong one. I think LeMahieu wants to remain, and I honestly think it may come down to a deal where LeMahieu's got a deal on the table from a team like the Blue Jays who want to steal him away, and he tells the Yankees what he's got, and the Yankees are going to top him. They're not going to lose him to their division rivals, no matter what. So while negotiations right now might be at a standstill with them, I think it's going to depend on when another team comes in, makes an aggressive push, and then the Yankees have to just give up. They can't, hold it out. Hope LeMahieu comes on for cheap. So I do believe DJ LeMahieu will end up with the New York Yankees. I really couldn't see it any other way. It sounds like he wants to be there. We've heard Luke Voigt say the same, that he would bet his house on it. So I would also bet my house that DJ LeMahieu remains with the New York Yankees. And now to the final MLB free agent we're going to be talking about today. And we might honestly, next week, go for some mid-tier guys as well. We might start doing this a little more. I feel like this could be a little fun thing. Maybe we'll even do some trade talk with guys like a Chris Bryant, Francisco Lindor, Blake Snell, those kind of guys. Maybe we'll look at that. Comment below if that's something you would like to see, but I definitely would expect to see something like that next week. But of course, we were talking about the Trevor Bauer, winner of the Cy Young this year in the National League, had a fantastic season. It's kind of been up and down for the career, but really seems like he's starting to settle in this year and dominated. So, Mac, where do you have the best starting pitcher on the market headed?
You know what? Let's just load up the Dodgers even more. Let's have him go to the Dodgers. Some people have even said the Yankees put them out there, but Bauer said he's had some problems with Garrett Cole, his former college teammate. So that could throw the Yankees out of the window, whatever you want to say. But he's a great player. The Dodgers are a great team, and he's said he wants to pitch for a contender that is known to be strong with technology, and that's what the Dodgers have. He had a 1.73 ERA, which was the best in the National League. So the Dodgers are going to be getting another star, and might as well. They're probably going to make another really strong run next year.
You got the right city, wrong team. I'm going Los Angeles Angels here. They need starting pitching. We've heard their owner, Artie Moreno, say the exact same thing. They need pitching. They've been aggressive so far. They acquired Raisel Iglesias from the Reds to patch up the back of that bullpen, but they need starting pitching. They need starting pitching, and they need it even more. They have Dylan Bundy there, who had a very strong year under former Mets manager Mickey Callaway as the pitching coach. Shohei Ohtani's there. He had a really rough year pitching-wise. We'll see if he can get that back on track. But this local California native, it seems like it's a perfect fit. Trevor Bauer going to join Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon, and you got to think that will help the team finally contend. And I feel like the Angels might finally just be able to squeeze into the playoffs with Mike Trout, and we'll finally get to see Mike Trout in October. It has been a while. It's been one time in his career. So I think Trevor Bauer is the right move for the Angels, and I think it's one that is likely to happen with the Mets likely going after a George Springer. Otherwise, I think the New York Mets might be in play, but we'll see what happens there. Well, that does it for MLB predictions. Once all these guys signed, we will revisit these predictions 100%, and we'll see who got more. Maybe we'll even get a friendly wager going or something like that on who can get more of the predictions right. We'll figure it out. But maybe this will be a series. We'll start predicting various things in the MLB each week. So be sure next week we will talk about some trade candidates. I think is what I'm starting to think. We'll talk Francisco Lindor. We'll talk Chris Bryant. We'll even talk some Blake Snell. We've heard his name thrown out there. So stay tuned, and we'll be keeping it up with the projections and predictions. Messing up my words once again, but yeah, that does it for our MLB free agent predictions. And Mac, you want to take it from here?
Yep. So now you guys know the drill by now. Sharing screen, you know what time it is. Yeah, we're picking my fantasy lineup. It's that time again. And as always, probably going to start with running backs. Anyone that stands out to you right away?
I mean, Derrick Henry against Jacksonville definitely stands out. He's a guy that I'm looking at. I'm saying could be nice to have. Christian McCaffrey's not going to be playing, so the classic Mike Davis might be in play as well. I don't know how much he's going for.
18.
Yeah, probably going to have to end up doing that per usual. I'm curious as to what Austin Eckler is going for. I don't see his name. So he's 26 against Atlanta. I honestly don't hate that. I know Justin Jackson is coming back this week, but Eckler could be solid. He had a rough week last week, but so did all of the Chargers. So 9 targets though, so that's still positive. But yeah, what are you thinking?
I also, once you said Derrick Henry, the Jacksonville matchup, obviously great. I feel whenever we pick Derrick Henry, he normally has been booming, as people like to say. But I think this is a week against the Jacksonville Jaguars where he's bound to go off, and I think he's a player we probably should put in, and we could always revisit him down the line if we need more money.
Yeah, let's throw him in.
Alrighty.
So that probably, due to his expensive amount, we probably want to end up going with like a Mike Davis type guy here. Someone that's cheaper, that's getting the start.
See if there's anyone else down here too.
Miles Sanders for 18 is cheap. Wow.
New Orleans too. But
yeah, I'd rather probably go with the Mike Davis.
Agreed.
So let's put him in for now. And I think at wide receiver, we need to have DK Metcalf in there 100%. Okay. I think he's going to have an absolute day against my New York Jets. I think we have to throw him in, and let's maybe look for some lower tier guys now for the rest of the wide receiver squad.
Deontay Johnson versus Buffalo. Tre'Davious White will probably be on Juju. He's been playing fairly well recently. Multiple games.
Look at the targets, too.
Yep.
Yeah, let's put him in. I actually like that move. Yeah, let's put Deontay in. Our money is going down fast, though, so we really have to be conscious about this here. We'll probably have to end up visiting something. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to have to go below 20 now.
Yeah. Might have to take a dip into the 15 range. Kiki Kuti had a really nice week last week. We could throw him in there.
Let's see. Questionable.
Should play, it says.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
18 last week.
What are the other options? I mean, I don't want to just limit ourselves to Mr. Kuti, but
Sterling Shepard.
EY had a good week. Sterling Shepard. Cole Beasley could be a weirdly interesting one, yeah.
Last week.
16.
Went off.
It is Pittsburgh, though.
Let's see. How's he been playing the whole season? Fairly well.
Fairly well. Good look for Beasley. Michael Gallup for 14. What do you think about that? Ayuk for 14 might not be bad.
Let's see his stats. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we got to go Ayuk here.
For sure.
He's coming to the team. All right. Let's get the defense, I'd say, out of the way.
All right. Bills versus Pittsburgh. I mean, hard matchup, but good defense.
Some Jets Seahawks, man.
No. Maybe.
Raiders Colts. I mean, Raiders defense has been bad. We hate the Colts. I mean, we're anti-Colts.
Yeah, we're Colts.
So we give a Raiders D in there, maybe?
As a Colt hater.
It's either Raiders or Buffalo. Yeah.
Buffalo. Let's see how they've played against some other good teams.
They dropped 12.
Seattle.
3 against the Chiefs.
So they they don't really play too bad against good teams.
Raiders. Let's go Bills then, because the
All right.
Raiders defense has been really bad. So Pittsburgh offense isn't really anything special too. So
Yep.
let's go Bills.
All
Tight
right.
end. We're gonna need to go cheap here.
For sure. Robert Tonyan against Detroit.
Could be a pick. I mean, we might even want to look like a Noah Fant kind of cheaper. I mean, Mike Gesicki has been playing really well too.
Yeah, 19 points last week. Pretty good. I mean,
our tight ends always go bad though. Like we might honestly need to like throw in a Kelsey, like,
or we just put like, or just get like the cheapest
random guy. Yeah.
And then we spend the money elsewhere. That'd be fun.
I mean, we could do like what's Ertz up to? I mean, I feel like Ertz gotta do something, dude.
13 against New Orleans. You got Jalen Hurts in there, probably looking for someone who's reliable. Zach Ertz is always someone who can be counted on. It kind of feels like in key games when you're trying to check the ball down. So he should be a good option if we went that way.
Yeah, I feel like Zach Ertz might be one of the, we need someone who can boom at least, and Zach Ertz definitely has boom potential. I mean, you're gonna have him in there, so let's throw Zach Ertz in there. $52. All right, that's not too bad. Yeah, let's get QB.
Quarterback out the way.
Yeah, let's get quarterback. Taysom 30. Damn it.
Mike Glennon, the boy. Man,
we might have to go with Mike Glennon. Oh no.
You see how he played last week? He played well. He played fairly well.
Nice with that. He's been nice with it. He went up. Look at that face, dude. Oh,
I know. Look at that. He looks like he's straight out of Wii.
Who else is? We might. I mean, if we can get like a $20 guy here, would be nice.
Jalen Hurts for 22.
Alex Smith for 21. What's Alex Smith fantasy wise like do? What is he? It's not that good. We want someone who can boom.
How did it hurt?
Hurts?
10, and he came in late in that game too.
He did. Do we want to go with Jalen Hurts here and just stack the Eagles? Maybe. I mean, what are you thinking? You like that, or?
I think so. I think that's a good.
All right, let's put him in, and then we get $30 for the flex.
Especially he has those legs too, so you never know. He gets some rushing touchdowns for us there. Ooh.
Go Thielen, Keenan for 30
versus Atlanta.
What's Keenan like? What's his I just want to see. I haven't really.
7 last week, but that's good against
bad game.
Considering he had 0 points, but
dude, he's. I think we go Keenan. I think this is a no-brainer.
I agree. $0.
Well, there's the team. Let's see. Do we want to edit anything, or I mean, we've got Derek against Jacksonville, DK against the Jets, and Keenan against Atlanta. I mean, this is what we did last week, is what I'll say. And it didn't go too. Well, that was because Dalvin Cook and Devontae had a good game.
We had.
Who else did we have?
Henry too.
Tyreek, right?
Wait.
Oh, we did have Derek? No, I thought was it Derek or Tyreek?
We had Tyreek, Adams, and then a running back, either Henry or Cook.
I think it was Dalvin.
Okay. All right. Derrick Henry, please do not disappoint this week like you have previous weeks. We are counting on you.
We are counting on. All right, this team could be really good. I like our receivers too. I feel like there's not really except for QB. I feel like the team is like overall pretty solid.
Yeah, I feel like Jalen Hurts has a lot of potential there too, against the Saints. So,
especially like he could get some rushing touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's what we need too.
6 points.
If Ertz has a day, we might be in a very good spot.
This could be a 200-point team right here. This could.
I mean, Derek and DK could both drop 50 very easily. So
yeah.
So we will see, but let's put that one in, and another week. We got to get at least one more win before the season's over.
I think I could be wrong about this, but I do think this goes even in the playoffs. I do think
really
so.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I saw it was like when they were talking about weeks, it was like 0 out of 19 or something like that. So I think it includes playoffs. So we have more shots at this. We have more.
Let's go. let's just not lose again. How about that? We're just going to
Let's win
be,
them all. Win them all.
yeah, let's win them all. Exactly. Well, that will take us to talking itself about some football. So I'll pull the screen up, the traditional screen here. And oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do this. All right. So briefly, we already talked a bit longer than usual because of the MLB stuff. So we won't touch on too many of these games. I'm going to put 2 games down. You can put 2 games down and we'll touch on those. The 2 I want to touch on, Cleveland, I want to touch on. And I also want to touch on, I'm going to touch on Steelers too. Which 2 do you want to touch on?
Let me touch on the Giants, and how about the Rams? Rams Cardinals.
The Rams. Okay. Sweet. And, real quick, New York Jets, we'll just do it. That was one of the worst losses. I mean, I was jumping up screaming how excited I was. The tank is on, as I announced on last episode, which I think is sitting at like three views right now. So we'd appreciate it if you go give that one some views. It would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, I'm Team Tank now. Jets lost in maybe one of the most incredible ways possible. They cover 0 blitz on a Hail Mary on basically for the game against one of the fastest players in the league. So pretty incredible there.
And remember, Lamar Jackson didn't show the Lamar Jackson speed.
Yeah, he did not. The Lamar Jackson, the New York Jets cornerback, for anyone wondering out there. But yeah, pretty crazy. Waller had a day, but just briefly, I mean, we're not going to talk about the Jets too much. We'll start with the Cleveland Browns, who the game looks a lot closer than it really was. This was a blowout, to be completely honest. The Browns really just, I don't know what happened in the second half. They just really, I don't really know. Wow, Cleveland looked good. Baker Mayfield probably would have the game of his season, either this one or the Cincinnati game. I would argue this one, though. 25 for 33, 334 yards and 4 touchdowns. Mac, what is your initial reaction to the Cleveland Browns and how they looked this weekend?
They look great. I'm kind of disappointed. I picked the Titans by 10.
You did.
Definitely didn't work out that way. But Baker Mayfield, great game. Hopefully this continues, but knowing him, it's probably not. But I guess how he played had to take over for how Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt played. So I think next week we're going to see these stats reverse, and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Not next week, tomorrow actually, or today when you guys see this, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are going to be taking the role of this offense. But I do like how they looked and played passing the ball. And hopefully they could build off of that. They were going against the Titans defense, which is not great, and you were able to put up 41. So that's exactly what you want to see. You don't want to put up low numbers against a defense that isn't great. But for the Titans, started off slow, never really got Derrick Henry involved or got him going. Ryan Tannehill played great, but as I always say, you got to compliment him to Derrick Henry. It's not what they did, and that's the reason they lost.
I agree with really everything you said here. Derrick Henry didn't have a good game, which means he's due this week for us. Yep. Mr. $37 acquisition there. But yeah, Cleveland looks good. And I've been a big fan of this team, and I'm all in right now. I mean, I'd really love to see this team do well just because, the fan base has suffered for so long. I do have, some personal connections there, obviously. So I'd love to see the Cleveland Browns go far.
You don't want to see your family members disappointed?
I don't. I'm honestly, the Browns would be my playoff team. That's the team I would want to win the Super Bowl, if I'm being honest. But they can do it. People are underrating this team. People say they can't get it done, but I think they proved this week that they can beat any team in the league. If Baker Mayfield is playing very good, I think they will beat any team in the league. They can even beat the Chiefs. But this team has the ability to control the game through the ground. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt has been a little slow recently. He's not averaging as many yards as he did at the start, but Nick Chubb has been playing fantastic, 18 for 80 in the touchdown you see here, even at a 26-yard catch, which was great for him. So that's how they control the game. They control the game through the run. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league, without a doubt. 5 fantastic starters there, which is great to see. So Cleveland is an underrated team. They've got a good matchup against the Ravens this week, so we'll touch on that later, but that will be the first game that we discuss. Next game we are going to is the G-Men and the Seahawks. Max, since you picked this one, I'll let you start off. What were you thinking here with Mr. Colt McCoy and his 105 yards?
Okay, Colt McCoy. You're a backup, and you did what you had to do. That's how teams have to play. You let your players, whoever really comes along first in the game, whoever starts playing well, that's who you got to play with. And that's what they did. Wayne Gallman, 16 for 135, as you all see right there. He played great. And one quick thing I kind of want to bring up is if this Giants team is playing this well right now, everyone kind of forgets this because you don't hear about him much on social media or in the news. But Saquon Barkley is still on this team. You have to remember that. So next year, this team is going to be scary. I just want to quickly say that because everyone kind of, I feel like, forgets about Saquon Barkley, that you don't really hear much about him. But great effort by the Giants. Offensively, they ran the ball, took control of the clock. Defensively, they were able to slow down. Really, no team has really been able to slow down the Seahawks and hold them to 12 points.
Well, no.
Giants played great, but for the Seahawks, they really have to pick things up. I think this is just an off week for them. When you really don't have DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett going off, it's kind of been a struggle for the Seahawks. One of them needs to go off. It kind of feels like in order for them to have success, they were unable to do that, and that kind of that's the reason I think they lost.
Really good game for the Giants is what I have to say. Their defense here, Leonard Williams, man, this guy is playing out of his mind this season. I don't know if it's him having a – I know, big payday is coming, dude. 2.5 sacks again. People are saying he's going to make a lot of money, and I think, good for him. We got a third rounder for him. People were saying that's ridiculous. The Giants paid that, and now it looks like bad for the Jets, of course. What a shocker there. But the G-men are 5-7. I don't see them winning this division still. I still think the football team, which we'll discuss in a brief moment, will end up winning this. Giants have a hard schedule coming up, but really good win. And hey, man, they get Danny Dimes back this week against Arizona. We'll see what happens there. But I don't know. Tough loss for Seattle. Seattle's been a little lackluster recently. I feel like Russell Wilson had that beginning of the season start, and it has been straight downhill from there. He really has not. I don't even think he's in the MVP discussion necessarily anymore. I think he's, maybe there, but you're talking Pat Mahomes, you're talking Aaron Rodgers, you're talking maybe even still Josh Allen in there. I just don't think Russell Wilson is in that top 3 discussion anymore. Maybe top 5, but I don't know. Really not a good game and a good sign from Seattle, but they will continue this week. I forget against who. I think it's the Jets. So they'll be just all right.
Yep.
Rams part.
Imagine the Jets get that upset. Oh boy.
Then the Giants don't look as impressive. So that would be incredible if the New York Jets. Maybe it's Jamison Crowder will have a 5-touchdown game. We'll see what happens there. Rams Cardinals. The Rams, dude, we saw them play on Thursday night already. They manhandled the New England Patriots, which we'll discuss. I definitely want to touch on Cam Newton. But Cam Akers, dude, this guy is finding his lane. You see him start here, 21 carries. Whoa, the running back situation has been weird, but then he gets like 27 on Thursday night. We'll touch on that, but Cam Akers finding his way. They used the wideouts against Arizona, and on Arizona, Kyler Murray is really having a struggle. He started off in this game, I believe, like 1 for 8. That he had that huge touchdown. I believe it was like Dan Arnold or something like that. Yeah, Dan Arnold had 2 catches, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was a slow start after that you see here on the scoreboard. No points after that quick touchdown, and it really started to become into garbage time for the Arizona Cardinals, and that's a problem. The Cardinals right now look not great. They're 6-6. They started off, people were saying this team could be one of the top teams in the league, and right now it just looks like they're struggling. They're still trying to find the right. Kyler Murray is a stud, but he's not quite there in terms of being in the top 5 discussion, I believe. I think there's 5 better guys right there already for sure. So not a great week again for the Cardinals, and it just seems like the Rams are just overall a better football team.
Yep, can't disagree with anything you said. Everything was really spot on. But once again, Jared Goff, he had a great game. Once again, it kind of feels like once he puts over that 300-yard mark, or once he hits that 300-yard mark, this team really kind of takes off and skyrockets in that game and takes complete control of the game. So if Jared Goff is able to put up those numbers consistently a little bit more, this team is going to be very scary. But as you said, when we hit the Rams in the Patriots game up in a little bit, we're going to see that maybe that's not the case with their new stud right now in Cam Akers. But for the Cardinals, have not been great recently. We're arguably one of the best teams in the NFL early on in the season. Now sitting at 6-6, as you said, and going into this week, they have a tough matchup against the New York Giants. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. But Kyler Murray, he had 3 touchdowns, one interception, but the yards, they're way down. This is an air raid offense. You have to be getting yards in this offense for it to work. If you're not getting yards, pass the ball, you're not going to win games. That's what this scheme is built around. No yards, no wins, and that's how it's going to work. But DeAndre Hopkins, still one of the best receivers in the league, and he's not really doing much either. He's getting receptions, but he's not getting yardage, and that's a problem for this team. They need to get D-Hop more involved, and they have to get the passing attack working again if they want to get back to their early season form.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think, one thing before we move on, like you just said, at the beginning of the year, D Hop was going for 10 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown each game. Now it's like, he's just had like 3 catches, 5 catches, 8 catches for 50 yards. Like it's just been lackluster. He's had some tougher matchups, but still no excuse. You're one of the best in the league. You're supposed to be able to, be able to handle any cornerback in the league, regardless of if it's Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, Tre'Davious White, any of those guys. And yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, I'm not blaming him. I think Kyler Murray's probably the issue right now. It seems like ever since that shoulder issue from the Seattle game, he really hasn't been the same quarterback. We haven't seen that same level of stardom from him. So we'll see what happens. But the Cardinals are in a very bad spot. And like you said, tough matchup with a hot Giants team right now. It's won 4 in a row. So by no means is that an easy game anymore. And now we will talk about the story of the week. The Washington football team, led by Alex Smith, who had a really, really bad bloody ankle. That was that was scary to see. At first when I saw that, I was like, please don't be his bad leg. But thank God it wasn't. He is easily the comeback player of the year. They should probably name that award after him after this season. Wow. I mean, you're talking about going from almost losing a leg to being losing his life to leading a team to the playoffs and beating the 11-0 undefeated, most overrated piece of team in the league, the Pittsburgh Steelers, keeping it PG for all at home. Wow, bad game from the Steelers, and this was to do, in my opinion. The Steelers, wow, I cannot believe they were 11-0. But you look at the schedule, man, and it was not impressive. You look at, some of these wins they're having here. They got the New York Giants, who are not the same team week 1 as they are now. The Denver Broncos, I believe Drew Lock got injured this game. Houston Texans, they just had a really slow start to the season. Philadelphia Eagles, not really an impressive victory. Cleveland Browns, very different team than they were then. I don't believe Nick Chubb was healthy either. He was not. Tennessee Titans, that one is looking more skeptical too. The Titans have been met with good teams and they've gotten slaughtered by good teams. So is that one even that credible? And it's close. Ravens, really not that good anymore. Almost lost to Garrett Gilbert and the Cowboys. Bengals, I mean, you should be winning that game by a lot. Jaguars. Ravens, again, with Trace McSorley playing, you beat them by 5. And then you lose to the football team. So I think the Steelers are a team that really might be finishing here 13-3, 12-4. Some of that's not going to be that impressive. The team's good, but you lose Bud Dupree now for the season again. Bud Dupree and Devin Bush, that adds up at linebacker. That does add up indeed. Hopefully TJ Watt is not next. He's been a superstar at Wisconsin. But, yeah, really bad game from the Steelers here. And, wow, good for the football team. Obviously, Antonio Gibson went down with an injury, but they still got those back, Shady McKissick and Peyton Barber to carry them. So really good stuff from the football team.
Yep, football team played great. Alex Smith, you said, we all had that little scare there for a second. And, I mean, might as well name that award after him, almost losing his life, and now coming and playing how he is right now. He is playing out of his mind. 296 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, that's what you got to do to beat the Steelers. You just play slow, play calm, and that's how you win. The Steelers, right? I mean, I'm just going to say it. Worst 11-0 team in NFL history. Absolute dog, They, but I can't lie. I was rooting for them to be 16-0, but only so they could lose in their first playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, first round exit, baby.
Yep. Big Ben, he's not what he once was, and they're passing the ball 53 times. Of course, you're gonna have 305 yards, but that's the stats, the numbers, they look all right, but he's really not what he used to be, and this team is gonna have to look for a replacement for him real soon. I mean, even in the draft, possibly have him sit behind Big Ben for a year or two, whoever that may be. But running the ball, I was about to say Josh Jacobs. James Conner was out, so of course that's a big loss. You're going to lose a lot of your running game there. But passing the ball 53 times, as I said. You're obviously going to put up the numbers. And if you have no run game, there's really no way you could win a game. I mean, look at the attempts there. Only, what is that, 14 carries? No way you're winning a game with 14 carries. I think it'll at least be like maybe 17 to 20 carries at minimum to win an NFL game. So Steelers, terrible. I wish they won 16-0 just to get blown out in the first round. But, good loss now. Worst 11-0 team in history.
Well, it'll be interesting because now, the Chiefs and them have the same record. So really, I would expect the Chiefs to end up getting that bye. It's hard for me to pick against the Chiefs ever again, even though they had a tough game. Like we called a close game against Denver. It really was. Denver played great football. Chiefs honestly looked a little off, and they still were able to pull off the victory. So it just shows you the type of team the Kansas City Chiefs are. That will take us to our Thursday night football game. And boy, oh boy, Cam Newton threw for over 100 yards. Big game for Mr. Cam Newton.
Big game. I mean, he's almost back to MVP form.
I mean, he's close to the best he could do there. But Jared Goff, 137 yards. I mean, really, we just went from saying he's having a great game. Jared Goff has had a fantastic season. Don't let this game fool you. But Cam Akers, 29 for 171. Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown only got 2 carries combined. What the hell? That's crazy. You're looking at this. That's the cringiest thing I've ever heard. But you're looking at Cam Akers now dominate the running game. Pick him up in fantasy if he's still in your leagues. I'm sure he'll be number 1 picked up. But wow, Cam Akers is a star and Cam Newton is not. The battle of the Cams. Cam Akers won this one. Mac, what are your thoughts?
I love that little analogy at the end. The battle of the He had more rushing yards than Cam had passing. I mean, Cam Newton is back, boys. Everyone, he is back. Cam Newton, 119 yards, almost back to MVP form. I'm just kidding, but that was like his best game in who knows how long. Ever since he had COVID, everything hasn't been the same. I'm going to say that every week, and he's probably not going to return. But good thing for the Patriots, they got him on a league minimum deal, so that's the only bright side that this team has. Couldn't run the ball at all, couldn't do anything. That's why they only scored 3 points. The Rams, they came out hot. Cam Akers, he wasn't just averaging he was just getting 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. He was getting 10 yards, 15 yards, and maybe a 2-yarder right here, but then he'll burst out for another 20. He was playing great. And I'm not sure if I said this earlier before the season started, but this is one guy who I was kind of excited for fantasy-wise, and now he's starting to come along, so I'm excited about that. But Jared Goff, this is the point I wanted to say a little bit before, but now, as I said, Jared Goff, so 300 yards, I said, was what it would take for the Rams to win. And once Jared Goff hit that number, it would be kind of a sure deal that they would win the game. But now that they have Cam Akers, if he continues this, Jared Goff could do what he did last week, only 137 yards. He's not going to have to pass like that, and that's more realistic for this team, especially how the season has gone for them. They haven't been able to pass the ball great or consistently of 300-yard passing games. But if Cam Akers is able to play well, of course, it's going to be hard to play to this level. But if he's able to get 100 yards maybe, then Jared Goff doesn't need the 300 yards. He can maybe get 200, and they'll still be able to win by controlling the time of possession and scoring some more touchdowns running the ball. So that's kind of a key I have for the Rams. We're going to have to see how Cam Akers does going forward, but great win by the Rams, and I think they have a pretty bright future.
I completely agree with everything you said there. I love the Rams. I love the direction they're going in. They had a down year last year. I believe they were either 8-8 or 9-7, one of the two, maybe even 7-9, but really good season so far for the Rams. They got 3 more games, obviously, to go. But it looks like New England, their playoff hopes might be out the window. Yep. They're not going to have 10 wins, and that's the first time I believe I saw a stat in a while that they won't have had 10 wins. So good game from the Rams, and that will do it for our talk about the football. Now we're going to go to our predictions of the football, and we're going to start in Duval, Jacksonville, the 1-11 Jaguars. I'm praying they get the W for the Jets' sake, but the Titans here are going to be the team I pick. They're coming off a rough week against Cleveland. And to me, Tennessee should be able to get this win pretty easily. Our big game from our board, Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown and Corey Davis will once again continue to have fantastic games. Corey Davis really starting to come in his own. Good to see there. As another receiver who I believe his 5th-year option was declined, and another guy who's looking at a nice payday. So I'm going to give Tennessee the win here.
Yep, I agree with you there. I mean, Jaguars are in full tank mode. That's why they're not as they said, they're not starting Minshew. It's Micah Glennon time. Look at that face from before. Just go back and pause it, admire it. They're tanking. They're taking.
See if
If
I
they're
can
not
find it then.
starting Minshew, it's just
There
as.
he is. Is that him? Oh, that's Tannehill. I thought that was Mike Lennon. Sorry.
Yeah. So, without Minshew, you're asking to lose. Minshew is obviously the better quarterback. They're tanking. He's not going to be the quarterback of the future. So, Minshew, prayers for you. I hope you end up on a good team where you can end up starting. You deserve it. But the Titans are going to get a win here, and we have Derrick Henry on our team, so you better go off.
Better go off indeed. Vikings Bucks. This is a very good game here. Viking little jump scare there. They went to overtime with the Jags, but the Jags played really close with Mike Glennon under QB now against the Cleveland Browns and the Minnesota Vikings. And if you look at the Vikings schedule, it's probably their toughest game ahead. They've got they got the Saints. Oh, well, the Vikings are screwed. The Vikings are probably not going to be in the playoffs here. Looking at a sneak peek, they got the Bears, the Lions, Saints, and the Vikings. It's gonna be the Bucks. Then the Vikings have the Vikings. So that would be a game. Dalvin Cook on Dalvin Cook.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stop speaking. I'm gonna turn this one to Mac before this podcast goes haywire. Mac, what do you think about this one?
You know what? I hate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. They haven't played great the past 2 weeks. We know close win last week, and then the week before lost to the Dallas Cowboys. But this is a team. They're going to have Adam Thielen this week, and Justin Jefferson, of course, probably the best wide receiver rookie right now, or rookie wide receiver, I should say. The Vikings, they're inconsistent, but I think this is a big game. If they're able to find and pull out a win here, this could be a way that they potentially, this is a win that could decide if they make the playoffs or not. So I'm going to give this one to the Vikings.
I'm not going Vikings here. I'm going Bucks. Bucks had the bye to prepare. They came off a really strong second half showing from the Chiefs. It looks like they started to figure it out on offense. So to me, Minnesota's defense, it's not strong enough to be able to stop this team. This team is a very strong offense, and they're due for a really big game. They kind of have been playing mediocre football these past few weeks. To me, I think Tom Brady, fresh off a bye, his body is going to be rested, and that man is going to be ready to go, especially in Tampa Bay. I feel like this team, 1 o'clock, the sun's going to be shining, the heat's going to be going, and Tom's going to be throwing. Not terrible there on the words.
Like that.
So we're going to keep going. Give me Tampa Bay here. Tampa Bay, I should say.
Tampa.
Chiefs, Dolphins. Dolphins are 8-4, dude. Van Ginkel, unfortunately, I don't believe got a sack last week. Let me just double check, but I believe he did not get a sack. I don't even know if he registered a stat. Doesn't look like he did. So my boy Van Ginkel needs to get in there more, get a little more interested. But to me, this game's going to be Chiefs. Myles Gaskin has already been ruled out, and so has Salvin Ahmad and Matt Breida, who's on IR, I believe. So DeAndre Washington, Patrick Laird, going to be taking the reps at running back this week for the Fins. And to me, no Myles Gaskin. Myles Gaskin kind of is a key part of that offense. So I'm going to go Chiefs here. I don't think me and Mac here are going to pick against the Chiefs, really. I know they play the Saints further down, so maybe against the New Orleans Saints. But any other game, not going to be able to pick against the Chiefs. So I can sure say Mac will pick the Chiefs too, but he's going to tell you why right now.
Yep, I'm picking the Chiefs. Miami Dolphins, their run game is going to be non-existent this week. And I mean, as I've said, and as the games have kind of panned out, if you don't have a run game, you can't really win in this league. You have to have some sort of run game to control the clock. And I think this game may not even be close because of that. Give me the Chiefs, and this could be a, dare I say, 10-plus point win for the Chiefs. Who knows?
I agree, yeah. I mean, don't let Van Ginkel get hot. That's what I'm going to just say. If you let that brother get hot. If he gets I'll set a new wager for the week. If he, what should we do? If he gets he doesn't get tackles, so like 3 tackles.
3? 4? 4.
4 tackles. I'll buy a jersey. I'll buy a Van Ginkel jersey.
I should get 4
tackles. Or if he gets an interception, 4 tackles or an interception for the gangster, or a blocked punt. Anything cool, but not a sack. No sack this week. That was last week. So
yep.
If Van Gangster gets on there, if I see that man on red zone doing something big, the jersey's going to be shipped. Broncos. What did you say?
1 day shipping too.
I'm paying for shipping, I guess. I've been selling some baseball cards, so I'll be paying for for my gangster jersey. I'll be spending all that money on the gangster. Broncos, Panthers, 2 4-8 teams. Christian McCaffrey is out again. He's now dealing with like a thigh issue. Probably, I'm not sure if we'll see him again this season. Honestly, season's lost for the Panthers. That said, I'm going to pick the Carolina Panthers here. They haven't had a victory in a while. I feel like they're kind of, wait, I actually believe they beat the Lions like 2 weeks back. Yeah. So they actually did have a victory pretty recently. Oh, yeah, they did. And they lost 1 point to the Vikings. Vikings are playing close football. Jeez. I'm going to go Panthers here. I like their passing attack. I like Bridgewater. Coming off a bye, Mike Davis, he's our boy now. So we got to pick with Mike Davis. You know what I'm saying? Broncos did put up a good showing against the Chiefs, but I feel like that was just a game. Chiefs were a little off. Broncos were very motivated. Now I feel like that's kind of offset. You're going to Carolina. This isn't a prime time game anymore. We're just going to be seeing some normal dogs calling the game on CBS. So unless Benny Wags is calling it, I'm going for the Carolina Panthers.
All right, I'm going to agree with you 100% there. This team I was high on into the season. We all know that, blah, blah, blah. Panthers without Christian McCaffrey are just not the same team, and I'm kind of wondering what this team would be like if they've had Christian McCaffrey for the entire season. The Broncos, on the other hand, as you said, pretty good showing against the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Were unable to get that victory, though, however, but good showing. And as you said, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to keep that up. Panthers, we have Mike Davis. Give the Panthers the win.
Completely agree with everything you said there. And I'm gonna let you take this one over for the rest of these. I'll let you give it a go for these since I feel like I've talked too much already. So I'll let you dominate from here.
All right. So now we have the Texans, the Houston Texans, that are going to the Windy City of Chicago to play the Bears. The Bears now, I believe, are going to be starting Mitch Trubisky. The Texans, however, have been fairly good in the passing attack, even without Will Fuller, as he got his 6-game suspension, as we all know. But the Bears, I do think, will end up coming out on top. The Bears defense is going to be a little bit too much for the Texans to handle this week. The Texans, they do have David Johnson back. Kind of forget about that, but I think he'll be shut down for the most part of this game. The passing attack will struggle a little bit. And I think this can be a low-scoring game, but I think the Bears will end up coming out on top.
All right, so Mac is going to take the Bears here, and I'm going to agree. I feel like the Bears are due for a nice win. They had a really rough ending to the game last week against the Detroit Lions. Texans, like you said, with Will Fuller, maybe they win this game, but no Will Fuller. And I don't believe David Johnson's playing either. Duke Johnson has had some struggles as the starter. Obviously put up a nice performance against Detroit. The Bears D is a little better than Detroit. So I'm going to go with the Bears here. I feel like Mitch will have a relatively solid game. Maybe Allen Robinson will have a nice game himself or some of those other guys there. But David Montgomery's been playing a heck of a football recently. So I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears as well.
Good pick. And now I think this has potential to be the game of the week even. And that is the Cardinals. And they're going to New York to face the red-hot Giants. Giants started 1-7, now sit at 5-7, trying to make that playoff push in the NFC East. They're currently tied with the football team, so it's going to be a battle to watch out for in the next few weeks. But actually, I'll let you start off with this.
All right. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals here. I feel like the Cardinals are due for a win. They've been playing some bad football. And I feel like this is the week to do it. The Giants are playing really good. The Cardinals are playing really bad. I feel like those tides will kind of turn today. Daniel Jones is going to be returning. That said, Cardinals last year really put up a strong showing against the Giants. And I know it's not the same Giants team, but the legend of Chase Edmonds returns to the Meadowlands. And I think Chase Edmonds is not going to do much. I think he'll put up a touchdown. I feel like Chase will put one in there. But I'm not willing to bet a jersey on that just yet. I'm not that big a Chase Edmonds guy. But I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals here. I feel like they're due for a win, and I feel like the Giants are just due for a loss too. So Cardinals.
I'm going to agree with you there. I actually feel if Daniel Jones wasn't starting this game that they would win. I just think he's going to be a little bit shaky to start this game coming off that little injury that he had. The Cardinals, they are due. And I do think D-Hop may struggle a little bit versus James Bradbury, probably, or dare I even say the best cornerback this season. Who knows? But the Cardinals, they're looking to bounce back. The Giants, they're getting Daniel Jones back. And that actually may be something that costs them this game. But the Cardinals, they have to get some other receivers going besides D-Hop this game. He's going to struggle. You're going to have to get Larry Fitz, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella involved if you want to win this game, and I think they're going to be able to do just that. Giants, I don't think they're going to really get much going offensively. I could be wrong, but right now I'm going to have to be sticking with those Arizona Cardinals.
Andy Isabella, I like the name there. Maybe if Andy Isabella drops a 2-tutty game, Mac will get an Andy and Isabella jersey. Maybe that'll be Mac's new guy for the rest of the year.
We're
we gotta get you some. We gotta get you someone. We'll see. We'll drop some finalists, and maybe we'll hit a poll or something like that. But Andy Isabella might be a finalist.
Maybe. But now we got my lousy Dallas Cowboys. To say the least, sitting at 3-9. They're going to Cincinnati to play the Joe Burrow-less Bengals, who sit at 2-9-1. And this is a game I think is going to decide whoever gets that number 3 pick in the NFL draft. So obviously, I want that 3 pick. I want my boy Penei Sewell. So you know what? Give me the Bengals, the Cowboys. I mean, this is a game everyone wants. Is probably gonna expect them to win. I think you are probably gonna pick them. I could be wrong on that, but these are the games where the Cowboys seem to struggle. Well, they seem to struggle every week, but I mean, I don't know why. This game is just a game where the Cowboys are going to keep it close, but they're going to lose it. Give Cowboys fans some more heart attacks, those ones that still want to win the division, but it's not going to go well. And I think that this could be a pretty bad game for the Cowboys. And maybe this could be the last game for Mike Nolan, potentially, if he gives up some good numbers to Brandon Allen. Excuse me. My wording was a little bit bad on this one, but
no, it's fine.
I'll let you take it away from here now.
We won't send these ones into CBS and Fox. Yeah. Let's just say CBS, and maybe I'll hit them with the Cam Battle of the Cams. But other than that, no, yeah, I'm gonna go Cowboys here, like you said. You think I thought I would.
Yeah.
We'll go with the English there, but yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas here. I can't pick Brandon Allen, even though the Cowboys defense is really, really lackluster. I feel like Dallas here will have a nice victory. Maybe if Zeke, I think he should play. I don't know if his injury is too severe. So Zeke should be good to go. Amari could have a good game. Andy Dalton making a return to Cincinnati. That's a headline for you right there. No one thought about that, but Andy Dalton's coming back to Cincinnati for a little revenge game, dare I say. I don't think it's really too much revenge. I feel like pretty good terms they ended on there. But that Ginger's making a return to the
rifle.
I wanted something good there. This for the take for CBS.
Yeah.
The Ginger's making a return to the Cincinnati Bengal, that orange beauty himself. And the Ginger is going to reign supreme over the Bengal here. Give me the Dallas Cowboys.
The Ginger's going to be.
And I'm hired. And now I'm sitting to Jim Nance calling some Sunday football for you on CBS.
Yep, the Ginger.
That will do it for the Cowboys.
Be the winner. But now,
the Ginger.
You know what? Dude, I don't even know if we're going to have to talk much about this one. It's the Colts going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. I'm not even going to say a word about this one. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raiders at home are a pretty solid team. Raiders have struggled on the road these past 2 weeks. They almost lost the New York Jets. Very bad game for them. And they got blown out by the Atlanta Falcons. But they're back home. They're in Vegas this year, which I believe they might even be undefeated against, except for that game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And, yep, they are undefeated at home other than that game. And I think we're going to see that continue throughout the rest of the season potentially. They're going to beat the Colts. They're going to be 8-5. The playoffs are going to be near for them, and the Colts are going to be struggling at 8-5. Maybe get in the playoffs. Colts schedule for the rest of the season.
It's going to be a battle between Titans. I think
it's going to be a battle. I agree. Yeah, I think it'll be a close division game, but yeah, I'm going to go Raiders with you here. Screw the Colts. Yeah.
I mean, also this one too, no brainer. And this is the Jets.
I'm not even gonna click on this one.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, give me Seahawks. I know you're gonna pick the Seahawks as well.
We've talked about the Seahawks in the Giants game. They'll be a bounce back week from those guys there. Jamal Adams revenge game. I hope Blitz Boy really does not. I want Sam Darnold to have a day. Just keep it close. Give the Jets a loss, but. Just screw. I mean, part of me is like, I want to beat Blitz Boy because that boy has talked so much trash about the New York Jets and even about the Giants. He was like, I can't believe we lost to a New York franchise. Like, just shut up, dude. Like, I'm sick of hearing Jamal Adams speak. He's the most overrated player I've realized in the entire NFL. Seattle will win this game, but goddamn, I hate Blitz boy. Thank you for the picks, though. I'll say thank you for the picks too first.
Oh yeah, that's
Yummy.
gonna help out down the line. I mean, unless the Jets want to keep it banned, keep Adam Gase, then they may go to waste. But
Yeah.
but now the Green Bay Packers, they're going to Detroit to play their division rival, Detroit Lions. This one, it could be close, but I am going to have the Packers come out on top. Aaron Rodgers is playing great. Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams, one of the best in the league. Going to be a Hall of Famer down the line. Robert Tonyan has also found his way in this offense too. Defensively, they've been fairly well. I mean, last week versus the Eagles, they forced the Carson Wentz to be benched. They forced him to be benched, and that's going to be a storyline.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, jeez.
We're gonna have to get to that once we get to their game, I guess. But Packers gonna get a win here, and then also not to mention the Lions. Their number one corner, Jeff Okudah, is out for the season as he will be getting surgery. So Devontae Adams could have
I
a
know
day.
that.
Yep, that was.
I didn't know that. Wow.
I got a few hours ago. It was announced.
Really? Unlikely. Yeah. Kenny Golladay has been out for a long time. If Kenny Golladay played, if Kenny Golladay is playing, I think I would pick the Detroit Lions to win this game as a weird divisional game. But he's not going to play. And to me, I don't think the Marvin Jones wide receiver-led group is going to be able to beat the Green Bay Packers. But it is in Detroit, which makes me say it's going to be close, but no fans. So it's like, eh. But, Green Bay will win this game probably by more than one score, I'm sure, in the end. But, if Kenny Golladay played, I might have gone Detroit here, but I'm going to go Green Bay here, and Green Bay here. I don't got too much more to say than what you touched on there. Yeah.
All right, but now this is a game I think we're going to be looking forward to with our boy Keenan Allen and the Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to be hosting the Atlanta Falcons.
It's a redemption game for Younghoe. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Younghoe
Koo.
Younghoe Koo.
Redemption game.
Not who. But the Chargers last week got blown out by the New England Patriots. A rare sight to see. I mean, not even a one score. Like
that's two in a row. Two non-one score games in a row.
And honestly, this week I think it could be a close game with how they've been playing recently. But offensively, for the Chargers, they're going to go off, and I also think the Falcons are going to go off as well. It's going to be a very, very high-scoring game. But I do think the Chargers will come out on top just because they have a slightly better defense than the Falcons right now.
It's weird. Austin Eckler's come back, and they've started losing by more points than originally, which is interesting. We were saying the Chargers were, one of the best 3-6 teams. I'm starting to not believe in that. I don't know what it is. This team has so much star power. I know they have their injuries, their fair share of injuries, but it's really kind of crazy that this team is doing as bad as it is. I mean, 3-9, they've got one of the best rookie quarterbacks. They've got a fantastic wide receiver core with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, a good tight end and Hunter Henry. Austin Eckler's been hurt, but he's back now. And they have a bunch of depth, good depth there. Justin Jackson, Kalen Ballage, and Joshua Kelly there. The defensive line, good. I mean, it's really incredible. This team is 3-9, like I said, but I'm starting to believe, I've defended them, said they're a really good football team, but they can't win the close ones, and that's what's going to hurt you. So I'm going to pick Atlanta here. I can't pick the Chargers anymore. I can't do it. Atlanta has started to really play pretty well recently. They had a bit of a tough time last week against, I believe, the New Orleans Saints, but they only lost by 5. They kept it close with the New Orleans Saints. And if you're keeping it close with them, blowing out the Raiders, to me, you're going to be able to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. So I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons here.
Fair pick. It's going to be a high-scoring game, and it could go either way. I think that game could very well come down to the last drive or one or two stops.
Maybe it'll be one score. Yeah.
Maybe.
A little one score.
We'll see. This is a game. A lot is on the line for one of these teams, and that is the football team going to San Francisco to play the 49ers. 49ers, we know, ridiculed by injuries, so that is going to be a struggle or problem for them. But the Washington football team, they have their formerly injured quarterback, Alex Smith, came back playing amazing. And now they're trying to make a push to the playoffs in the NFC East, and I think they're going to continue here by getting a win over the 49ers. They were able to beat the worst 11-0 team in NFL history, but you got to remember, they were 11-0. They were the only team that was able to beat them. No matter how bad the 11-0 team, Steelers, may have been, they were able to beat them. So I don't see why they would lose to the 49ers right now with how they are playing. Alex Smith is playing great. The run game is starting to be established. Terry McLaurin is doing his thing as always. And defensively, their front seven, one of the best in the league. The secondary is really the only concern of that defense. But overall, the football team is great. And the record doesn't really show how good they are. Right now, them and the Giants have kind of been on a roll recently. And this is a game where the football team is trying to take control of the NFC East with only 4 weeks and games left to play.
What a season for the football team, man. I mean, you start off the year with Dwayne Haskins at QB. It doesn't quite work out there. You go to Kyle Allen. Alex Smith came in. You go to Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen plays all right, goes down, and now you got Alex Smith in there. And to me, I know the worry was with the injury, but Alex Smith is the most proven quarterback by far out of that group, and he's showing it. And he's showing that he can lead a playoff team here. And I think he's really motivated this team. I think people have seen it come back, and they've said, what a story it would be if we get in the playoffs and make a run for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And what good coaching it has been by Ron Rivera. And I'm really a fan of what they're doing with this team. And I'm excited to see what happens here. So I agree with you. The football team is going to pick up this win. Niners, to me, are just not the complete football team that they were in the Super Bowl last year with all their various issues, injuries. Richard Sherman saying he's not coming back probably. I mean, what the hell?
And Robert Saleh isn't going to be back next year either, probably.
No. It sounds like he might be ending up in Detroit potentially as the Detroit Lions head coach. I believe he was favored there. It might be another job. It could be wrong, but hell of a run for this football team, and the schedule not too impossible. They've got the Niners, Seahawks, tough game, but the Panthers and the Eagles, man, they could really win 3 of these football games, go 8-8, and to me that's the playoffs. So we'll see what happens, man. But really good story out of Washington, and got a little deep with it there. But I'll flip this one back to Mac to send us to the other NFC East team.
Yep, and here's that team that everyone actually thought was going to win the NFC East to start the season. It was them, the Dallas Cowboys, in this division. The mindset of everyone, it all flipped. Everything changed. How the season has went. Really, 2020 is continuing to be a weird year, but this is the Saints, and they're going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. This one's a no-brainer for me. It's going to be the Saints, but I think we're going to have to touch upon this really quick. But last week versus the New York Packers, the Green Bay Packers, the Philadelphia Eagles ended up benching Carson Wentz for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts came out. He played fairly well against the Packers in that game, and Doug Peterson alone decided that he would be the starter coming into this game. So this is a big game for Jalen Hurts to prove that he could be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. But on the other hand, for Carson Wentz, the Eagles, they kind of did him dirty. Sure, he may not have been having the best of seasons, but he's a guy who was just a few years ago an MVP caliber quarterback. He's had his injuries, but look what's around him. He has no help around him, really. Injured offensive line, what has it been? 10 different combinations or something along those lines. But so if Jalen Hurts does start playing well, Carson Wentz there's a good shot he could be on the move this offseason.
I agree with the Saints part. I mean, we're not even really talking about the game too much here, but it's really interesting. I think Carson Wentz is going to be the starting quarterback next season. I think for them, they're screwed with the money right now. They signed that huge deal, and they're in the hole with that. It's going to be impossible to move that contract. I know you say might be playing somewhere else. I don't think he will be. No one's going to want to take on that contract for a guy who played as poorly as he did. So Carson Wentz will be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. I think this is just a matter of seeing, is Jalen Hurts potentially the future? They got to let him play. They got to know whether he's good. So I think he'll probably end up starting the final 4 games. It seems like they didn't want to make the move until they felt they were truly out. And if you look at the schedule, I mean, they play the Saints, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the football team. So arguably they could lose probably all 4 of those games. So to me, the Eagles are out of it at this point. Give Jalen Hurts a go. Seems like he gave them a spark, as Doug Peterson himself said last week. So we'll see what happens there. But very interesting situation. I don't think Carson Wentz is going anywhere quite yet. But he's definitely not going to be the quarterback for potentially the foreseeable future unless Jalen Hurts really, really struggles. So, yeah, Saints here, no brainer, but really more to this game than just the prediction there.
Yep. And now this is a good battle in the AFC. The Pittsburgh Steelers going to Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills. Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 11-1, getting their first loss last week to the football team. The Buffalo Bills sitting at 9-3 with an MVP caliber quarterback in Josh Allen. The Bills, they have been playing great. Stephon Diggs, I mean, I don't know if you saw a video of one of his routes the other week, but man, this kid, he gets open so easily. He's a star. And then you have Cole Beasley playing amazing right now. In addition to that, this offense is great. Defense is great. You got arguably the best cornerback in the NFL with some studs on the D-line and at the linebacking position. And then for the Steelers, as I said, they're coming off a loss. Big Ben has not looked himself. He's putting up the numbers, but that's not really telling the whole story when you're throwing over 50 times a game. No, every single quarterback should be able to put over 300 yards. But the run game couldn't get established last week, and you're going against the Bills defense, who is pretty good at stopping the run. So this is a week where I think the Steelers are really going to struggle on both sides both in the passing attack and in the run game. And the Steelers, I think, may even get whooped this game.
Ooh. I am going to pick the Bills here as well. Dude, I just hate the Steelers, honestly. Their fan base, the TikToks, it just gets annoying.
The TikToks make it even worse.
I mean, at least Chase Claypool came out and made it himself a TikTok of, yeah, that was good. Juju's been a little quiet. I don't know.
Hey,
I haven't checked in the last.
Did you see? I saw a little thing where it's it's because they lost the football team because Juju wasn't able to dance on the team's logo before the game started. So I mean,
really,
okay.
maybe that. I mean, if we see Juju dancing on a buffalo here, I mean, if he's in the Corvette, the Bills might be in trouble here. But otherwise, it might be more of a Honda Civic kind of evening for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills here. Josh Allen played MVP type football there, and that's a line that CBS will be getting in the tape. Send them. God knows if I'll send them the tape, but Corvette on the Bills logo. The Bills might be in trouble, but otherwise, it's going to be a Honda Civic kind of evening for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me Buffalo.
Yep, should be easy. I mean, that was outstanding. That CBS ESPN level right there. We're sending out the tape tomorrow. We got Bruce.
Tape's going out.
We even got Bruce over there with his connections. I mean, you're set. You're set right there with those lines.
Basically, Outside the Arena is going to be coming to CBS very shortly, 5 to 6 weekly on Saturday night. We'll be live shortly on CBS. So.
Yep, for sure.
Excited.
But now I know who you're going to go in this one, and this is the Baltimore Ravens, and they're going to your Cleveland Browns. I mean, might as well start rooting for them now since
I know. At this point, it's like I'm on the Browns wagon right now.
Yep. Yeah. So you know what? They're your Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna let you start with this one.
First game of the season. I'm gonna pull up the score because I don't have it memorized. 38-6, Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Since then, these teams have taken complete different turns.
Yep.
The Baltimore Ravens offense is not very good anymore. It's very beatable, and people have exposed it. The Cleveland Browns have learned how to play. They played their first game under Kevin Stefanski. Odell Beckham was still in the field, and they really hadn't got the Nick Chubb Kareem Hunt train going. Fast forward, we're in week 14. The Cleveland Browns are 9-3. The Baltimore Ravens are 7-5. The Cleveland Browns are going to win this game by more than 10 points. The Baltimore Ravens are going to struggle offensively, and defensively, they're going to be able to unable to stop the run. This team, the Cleveland Browns, are playing with a lot of confidence right now, and that's deadly. Giving Baker Mayfield confidence is like giving Tom Brady another white wide receiver. It's unstoppable. You can't defeat it.
Or another kid.
Did you see the slide with the camera? That was insane. I've never seen anything that cool in my life. Baker Mayfield looks like a natural right now. He's throwing dimes, and the Baltimore Ravens do not know what's going to come for them. Monday night primetime in Cleveland, you know that stadium's going to be packed. They don't give a damn about COVID guidelines. I'll tell you that right now. Cleveland by more than 10.
I love the analysis. CBS is getting another one. What is that, the 10th of the day?
10th of the day. What was the best one from that? It was
I like that Corvette.
The Corvette, but no, what I said something in Cleveland there that I liked. It was not. I don't know. I'm forgetting already.
But CBS is seeing it, so it doesn't matter. Give me the. I was about to say the Baltimore Browns. Like, oh my gosh, my words today. The Cleveland Browns are going to win this game. The Ravens, you saw what they did against the Cowboys last week. The Dallas Cowboys. What else would you expect? And then, they're celebrating on the sidelines and everything. Like, you beat one of the worst teams in the NFL. Congratulations. You beat literally fat Jason Garrett. That's what you're doing. So, yeah, the Ravens, you have no shot. This is going to be a 10-point win, at least for the Cleveland Browns. The run game is going to be unstoppable. And if you start even getting the play action going, Baker could even have a pretty good game as well. This is going to be a big game for the Browns, and they could secure a playoff spot really soon.
It's hard to say as a Cleveland Browns a fan, I'm sure, for those who are loyal Browns fans. But you look at the schedule ahead. Got Monday night against Baltimore, the G-Men, and then the Jets. The Jets is almost a sure thing for them. I think the G-Men, they're going to manhandle on Sunday night, too. Back-to-back primetime games for the Browns. Who would have thought? And then you get the Steelers. So the Browns could honestly beat at this point. The last time they played the Steelers was a completely different Browns team. This team has really, really evolved since then. And yeah, man, I mean, that is going to do it for our Week 14 NFL predictions. It's kind of crazy to say Week 14. We're in the fantasy football playoffs now. I mean, talk about that. That is wild. I mean, good luck to all you fantasy owners out there in the playoffs. In the league, we did for me on the old podcast way back when. That's like 3 months ago. That's kind of wild too, that we've been doing this for. When you really think about it, we've been podcasting it up for a good 4 or 5 months now. So it's getting there, and we're crushing it. I'm surprised we've been as consistent. We've done every week, and I don't think people our age can say that they've been doing it every week. We stay dedicated. We love what we're doing, and we're having a good time with it, and that's what's important to us. And we're getting our reps, and we're on a great path for our futures here. So thank you guys for supporting. I know this is getting a little deep once again. This podcast has been all over the place, so I don't expect it to be anything else. But I hope any of you watching enjoyed. If you got any feedback, just let us know. And I don't got too much more to say. I know Anthony and Joshua, I believe, had a knockout victory today. So congrats to him. For any boxing fans out there, hopefully we get him in Fury. I heard he was fighting back, like not that great though. I mean, I saw some highlights. I didn't pay for the old fight, but it was a weird fight. I just would take Tyson Fury in a matchup of those two. But I mean, that would be a great fight. But I know Mac's not too big on boxing, so I'm not going to go into a whole boxing breakdown and geek myself out here over some boxing. But maybe Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Mac might not even know who Anthony Joshua is.
Hey, you ready for that Logan Paul fight now?
Logan Paul. Well, I mean, Logan Paul, Floyd Money Mayweather going to go. What a joke that is. I mean, Logan Paul couldn't even beat KSI twice, so I'm not sure how he beat Floyd Mayweather. I know there's a whole. He's bigger, stronger, whatever, but it's Floyd Mayweather. So, we'll see.
Floyd Mayweather's gonna hit with a 1-2 in Europe with Juice WRLD, just like that.
CBS is calling for that. Maybe ABC or ESPN. Or I guess ABC and ESPN are the same thing. But yeah, that one will be. That's a good one. I like that one. I don't got too much other to say. Touched on the boxing a little bit there, but MLB free. Oh my goodness. MLB trade predictions next week. Stay tuned for that. And that's all I got. What are you thinking, man?
All right. I just want to say maybe if we talk about one little thing before we get off, and that's
sure.
We got the college football playoffs very soon, a few weeks away, and it's gonna be close. Ohio State, they've really been kind of wrecked, it feels like, missing multiple games, including this week, due to COVID. Not because of them, but because of other teams, really. So it's gonna be very weird to see how this shapes out. If it's Ohio State, Cincinnati, or even Florida, who's playing right now, they're losing to LSU actually right now, 14-7 in the second quarter. So that's good for us Ohio State fans, but it's gonna be something we got to watch out for in the next few weeks because Ohio State is really being kind of screwed because of COVID right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend. I think if they get a big win in that Big Ten championship game, they should be good to go. But Yeah, man, we'll see what happens with Ohio State. It's gonna be a close one, but I mean, you heard Dabo Sweeney say he doesn't think they should get in, but screw you, Dabo Sweeney,
Yep.
and screw you, Trevor Lawrence. In all honesty, even though he's probably gonna be the next Jets quarterback, screw you, Trevor Lawrence.
Yep. Gonna be good to see what happens going down the line. And with that, you ready to wrap things up?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Good to go.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Outside the Arena with Mac and Griff. Make sure to follow us on our social media so you guys could reach out, give us any ideas you guys want to see on episodes. If you have any guests, any connections, we would love to hear. We would greatly appreciate that. Our Instagrams are, mine is mac.rommel. Griffin's Instagram is
Griffin Senek.
and our podcast Instagram is Outside the Arena Podcast. Make sure to go follow us there. Please feel free to reach out or even leave some comments for anything, really. Those are the best place to reach us at. And with that, I guess we'll see you all next week on another episode of Outside the Arena.